Hello and welcome to Prague in the Czech Republic for the International Canoe Federation's 4th World Cup of the 2016 season. 267 athletes from 39 nations have been competing on the legendary Troja course. Prague is now hosting its 15th Slalom World Cup since the course was opened in 1983. Today we're going to be looking back over the best of the action from the 5 traditional classes. 24 gates in total, 6 upstream, 5, 6, 9, 16, 19 and 22. And we're going to talk you through the top athletes doing the top performances. I'm Matthew Layton, so let the action begin. First on course is the canoe singles, known more commonly as the C1 men. Here are the finalists. They already seen the course because the finalists had been already in the semi-final. Here's 23-year-old Ryan Wesley from Great Britain. Great Britain now having a wonderfully solid reputation in the C1. David Florence medalled in Beijing. He medalled in London. He also medalled in Rio a couple of weeks ago. And then, of course, there's Adam Burgess, last year's under-23 world champion, so 3 top athletes. But Ryan Wesley here is really taking on the course. As you can see, he accelerates the boat very powerfully. If you're new to this sport, you negotiate yourself down the 24 gates. Green and white, you take downstream. And as we're going to see here, gate number 16, you need to go through upstream. The idea, put the boat in the fastest current. Don't fight against the water. And here Ryan is doing tremendously well. He is, by the way, the current bronze medalist from the 2015 World Championships. Here he comes away. He's the first to go in the final and put forward a cracking time. Crucially, no penalty points. Next to go, Mate Benish. Many people admire his easy style. Very long limbs, a wonderful feel for the water, and he hasn't had some good results recently. Last year he was the dominant paddler. Michael Martican has been to the Olympics 5 times. Benish, this was his first time a couple of weeks ago, and he took the silver medal just behind France's Denis Gargaud-Canoe, who's actually not competing this weekend. Look at the speed. He takes the upstream gates, putting his bow in the right position. Again, keeping the paddle in the water as much as possible, feathering away, but also each stroke is chosen. As you can see, he's 1.11 seconds up on the split. The 4,000 crowd from Prague, fair play to them, and Mate Benish sprinting over the line. Well, Ryan Wesley in the inset picture knows a good performance, and so does Mate Benish. It's not over yet, though. Benjamin Savcek from Slovenia has been one of the top 3 for the last few years. Bronze medal in the 2013 World Championships. He took the silver in 2014 and the silver in 2015. Just missing medals in the Rio Olympics. Slightly down on the clock there, but there again with 4 seconds of penalties, what does he expect? By the way, 2 seconds of penalties are added directly onto your time if you hit a gate. If you miss a gate, which we have seen an awful lot with athletes trying to really chase the clock, that's a 50-second penalty, and it effectively puts you out of the game. So Benji Savcek here, he's fast, but with those penalties, it's not going to affect the result. And moves into 3rd position. He was the last to go, by the way. He knows he's left something out there. Well, there you go, the official results. Mate Benish takes gold for Slovakia, Ryan Wesley, Great Britain, silver, and Benjamin Savcek takes the bronze. The World Cup standings after 4 World Cups. Alexander Slavkovsky, who missed out of the final, is leading with 1 again to go. And by the way, Tatson next week is a double pointer. Next event is the canoe single women, or the C1. It's been on the international agenda since 2010 and looking to make its debut in the Tokyo Olympic Games. Katerina Hoskova, 31 years old, as you can see, ranked number 5. No one is more popular than Katerina here. She spends so much time coaching the kids, puts so much back. She's had 11 World Cup podiums so far. Her first win was on this course last year. By the way, she has been a former world champion though. Often spends the winter in the summer's Hedenfire and makes a lot of friends down there as well. Really knows exactly where to put the boat. And as you see, she's switching paddles, of course. There she go. Well, 2 seconds of penalties. Also, most of the athletes in the semi-final, 2, 4, 6 even penalties. Here she goes, puts all her force and crossing the line. Well, provisionally first place. No matter what the result, you'd all see the smile out there. Next to go, Great Britain's Mallory Franklin. Started canoeing at 5. By the age of 12, she was already in the Premier League, which is the Britain top division. Very tall, very rangy, good at K1 as well, by the way. Always knows where to put the paddle and when. And if you look at the split, she's fractionally up. Deciding to back off there, gives her more space coming into the upstream. That's textbook, really using the water. As you see, the idea is keep yourself in the fastest water. Mallory recently twice vice champion of the world. Really trying to keep the paddle in the water as much as possible. Uses her force. It's actually quite quick, the current here, so it's not as difficult as it looks, but they are tired, and she moves into second place. Only 22 years old, but already a superstar of the sport, Jess Fox from Australia. In 2013, when she won the World Championships here, she won by 13 seconds. Known for complete control of the water. Also known to switch paddles at exactly the right time. There you go. The reason for that is your onside is deemed to be more powerful than your offside, so it's where you can keep the control. Using the hole there very well. As you see, she surfs across. The idea is to use as little energy as possible on the downstreams and be as quick as possible on the upstreams. That's where it's won and lost. Look at where she's on the split. Well, 4.44 seconds up. In most people's books, this would be extraordinary. In Jess Fox, it's pretty much normal. And to remind us all, father, a 5 times world champion, mother, an Olympic medalist. She comes over the line and wins by 6.93 seconds. Jess took the victory by 6 seconds for Australia. Katerina Hoskova takes the silver for the Czech Republic, and Mallory Franklin takes the bronze for Great Britain. Here's the World Cup standings. Mallory Franklin leading from Kimberly Woods and Jess Fox.
I'm really happy with that run. I really pushed it the whole way and felt like I finished really strongly, and I heard the crowd go really wild for Katerina Hoskova, so I knew that she must have done a very good time. So yeah, to cross the finish and see that I was in first, it's a great feeling.
I'm Mike Dawson. I'm a New Zealand canoe slalom athlete. My sporting career is pretty special because I try and find balance between extreme kayaking and slalom kayaking. I love to explore the world, so going to these places like Angola and Pakistan gives me the chance to see places that not many people get the chance to see, explore rivers that have never been run, never been kayaked, and just get back to the roots of kayaking. To compete in Rio was such an honor. It was an amazing Olympic Games. Rio's a beautiful city. It's got so much culture, so much vibrance, and it brings that to the sporting arena. So it was a very special moment to line up on the start line there. It was a lot different to London, just the different cultures, the different environment, the way things were running. But I think Rio did a great job in preparing the Olympic Games. Canoe slalom's unique because it's a time sport, but it also has this subjective element of judging. I was unfortunate enough to get a penalty in London by my mum, and it was quite a funny scenario because my dad was our team leader, so he went off and protested that, and quite a family affair there, but it does just show how good the judging is. Yeah, canoe slalom in New Zealand's growing so fast. We have an amazing facility now, a big $40 million whitewater park, and you see a lot of the public kind of wanting to watch, wanting more, wanting canoe slalom and their kids to get into canoe slalom.
Straight on with the action, from canoes to kayaks. This is where they're sitting down with a double-bladed paddle. Ondřej Tunka, 25 years old, from the Czech Republic, lives in Prague, knows this course inside out. He makes it look so easy, always picks the right lines. And the crowd, the 4,000 crowd, banging the sideboards, really encouraging all the athletes on. This course, by the way, about 300 metres long with about a 3.5 metre drop. So the water's going along at 15 metres per second. It's a straight course, but there's hundreds of combinations possible, and the course designers have really set some good challenges here. In the last section, he's made up over a second. Maybe the least well-known of the top 4 Czech paddlers, but certainly one of the most talented paddlers. Makes it look so easy. And by 2 seconds, moves into first place. Vavra Hradilek, the showman. He's just come back from a 3 weeks commentating duty in Rio de Janeiro for the Olympic Games. So he's going to be puffing a bit at the bottom. This man has fingers in so many pies. Of course, an ex-world champion, multiple World Cup winners. Made a good film recently, by the way, and also has a bar on the river near Prague. He's known for being a showman. He certainly knows exactly when to push it. Punting off the edge, gives him a bit of an extra angle. Let's see where he's going to be on the split. Wait, only 900ths of a second down. He'll be able to be aware of exactly where he is, really giving it all his force, coming over the line. Where's he going to be? Oh, 1600ths out. Always sending a message, always thanking the crowd. Yuri Priskovic came back from Rio with the well-deserved bronze medal, is the current world champion. There's Yuri Priskovic Sr., one of the course designers, and Yuri Priskovic Jr. He's been on the scene now for the last 4 years and absolutely flies. Knows when to put the pedal down. And total control of the boat. But look, there's a 2-second penalty. His compatriots went down clear. That's going to make things interesting. The crowd cheering him on. Is it going to be a Czech Republic 1, 2, 3? 4 athletes from each nation are allowed in this competition, by the way, in each class. Ondřej Tunka looking on, very concerned. They're training partners, by the way, so they see each other every day. No one's faster than Yuri. Can he keep it going over the line? It's going to be close. Oh, he wins by 100ths of a second. He did the same thing in the European Championships, beating Vavra Hradilek. Check. Yuri Priskovic gold, Ondřej Tunka silver, Vavra Hradilek bronze, and Vit Prindis just missing out. And here are the standings. Vit Prindis, Ondřej Tunka, Darius Popiela as they move into the last section next week in Tatsen. I'm very happy with my race. I think I've done a very good run. After the Olympics, I haven't trained too much, and I've had some time off. I've only started training again this last week, so I wasn't up to top form. But apart from all that, I made a good run. I had one touch, but it was still so awesome.
When I'm at the start line, I usually get pretty nervous, but I try to take a couple of deep breaths and calm myself down and just tell myself that I'm doing this to have fun.
At the start line, I think about my normal routine, splashing my face and like getting pumped up for the run.
I focus on this and so let's go.
For me, when I'm on the start line, I'm thinking about the gates and technique.
I usually think about myself, about my body, and I try to relax.
Just enjoy the moment and then try the race.
I just want to get all the gates, get to the bottom, no mistakes, and see what goes from there.
Stay calm, relax and have fun. That's all I think about.
I check if my deck is well fixed because it happened to me to swim.
What's going through my mind is that I focus on the first gate and the water is going through it.
Trying to concentrate in on the first 3 gates.
I am being at the start and breathing the last times.
I think about the first few gates and I'm just excited.
And then let it all go.
Well, I try to think about nothing. That's it.
From the flying men to the flying women, it's the K1 final, stacked with world medalists. Ana Satilla from Brazil. At 16 years old, she was in the London Olympic Games. 20 years old, really was one of the poster girls for Brazil, but disappointed herself not even making the semi-final, but she's back on form. This year, by the way, she's already had 3 finals in the K1 in the World Cups. A massive 3 seconds up in the first section. You can see she has a very dynamic, aggressive style. Backs off round the gate, set herself in a good position. Oh, there's an expensive maybe penalty. 2 seconds going on gate 15. Always looking for the next gate, always ducking and diving. And in the final, that's the approach you need to have. There's no point in coming 5th and 6th and having regrets. The Brazilians really have a top coaching structure in place now. They're a joy to see. And here. Look at that, 3.5 seconds ahead of the field. Iva Turchel from Slovenia. He's been on the scene now many years. An architecture student, by the way. Desperately unfortunate to miss out on Olympic selection. He went down the last race in the European Championships. They have a very solid style. Really going through the middle of the gates. Perhaps not as dynamic as Ana Satilla, but deceptively fast. Well, so far, 4 seconds of penalties. And 5 seconds of back with 6 seconds of penalties. This is proving rather expensive. Here she goes, but still going to have a good raw time. Really pushing as hard as she can over the line. And just moves into second place. Ricarda Funk from Germany. She's won here before. She's arguably one of the top 2 paddlers in the last 3 years. Sits really on top of the water, always controls, know exactly where she puts the paddle and hence where the boat goes. Well, there's 2 second penalties. Ricarda Funk, one of 4 top Germans, didn't quite make it to Rio. One of the fastest racers on the planet. Well, 4 seconds of penalties so far, but as we've already seen, the other top athletes have also had many penalties. Now 6 seconds of penalties. Really pushing all the way. The coach, Stefan, watching from above. And here she goes, gives it her all. Well, that's an extraordinary finish. It's been a tough time for the German team the last couple of weeks. Confirmation of the results, Ricarda Funk takes the gold, Ana Satilla for Brazil takes the silver, and Iva Turchel takes the bronze for Slovenia. Here we see the World Cup standings after 4 of 5 races. Ricarda Funk, Ana Satilla, Jana Dukatova, Jessica Fox, all within 50 points of each other. And as we keep mentioning, double points in Tatson.
Mein Rennen war eigentlich jetzt nicht
It wasn't perfect.
Und
I
ich
had a
war
few touches,
mir nicht sicher, ob das noch was
but I'm
wird.
so
Und
happy to
als ich
win
am
in
Ende
this
noch
place.
die Eins da oben gesehen
It's
habe,
unbelievable.
das war ja schon toll.
It's two in a boat time, the C2 men. 3 Chinese crewed made it through to the semi-final. Andrei Karlovsky, Jakobiane. Jakob, by the way, has an oldest brother, Mikhail, who's also top canoe paddler in their bright yellow boat. Setting themselves up nicely. Exactly the same course, just 2 people have to go through the same gates. A lot more tactical. Put the boat in the hole, come across and down. Clearly the local cheerleaders shouting them on. 2 seconds of penalties we saw on gate 11. Really challenging course this. Nowhere, no respite at all. But look at that, they're very much in touch. We've had some top results recently, and they're incredibly motivated. 4 seconds of penalties, that could prove to be expensive, but they seem delighted. It's the Skantars, the cousins, Ladislav and Peter. Well done to them. They won the gold medal in Rio a couple of weeks ago. They must have had massive publicity and press to do, but they're still over here and look as motivated as ever. Of course, the Hochschorners won 3 gold medals at the Olympics. These guys have certainly taken over as the top dogs. They spin around, setting themselves up nicely for gate number 9. And look where they're going to be on the split. Well, almost a second up. They won 3 gold medals in a row in the World Cups in 2014. This year they've only so far been in 1 World Cup event because they were really focusing on the Olympics. But they just seem to know exactly what each other's doing, where to put the boat. And now they've made up another 2 seconds. They're 3.4 seconds up. And they look as hungry as ever. They've taken this course apart. And they move 5.63 seconds ahead of the field. Berling, Becker, Robert and Thoma. Young Germans. They've struggled with injuries in the last couple of years, although in 2015 they were the European champions. But there's an expensive hit on the back. Really look at their positioning the boat perfectly to line themselves up for the upstreams. Depending whether they're back left or back right, they'll have different tactics. But they're muscling down this course extremely effectively, and even with a 2 second penalty, they're very much in touch. Both have different jobs. One steers, the other one powers the boat forward, punting off the side to give themselves a good angle. They weren't the Olympic boat, but they certainly believe they deserve the credit for this, coming with just 2 gates to go. Still plenty of power left over the line. Where are they going to finish? That's impressive. With a penalty, they're just 2.66 seconds off. Skantars take the gold for Slovakia, Berling Becker the silver for Germany, and Karlovsky and Jane take the bronze for the Czech Republic. The World Cup stands in Tia Leroux. They've won 2 World Cups so far. They're leading for France ahead of Schroeder and Betge from Germany. The actual race, the whole weekend, was really, really good for us. Of course, we're very happy with this result. We had pretty much a perfect time on this race. No touches. I think absolutely everything went well. Well, that's it from Prague. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us. We've had a lot of fun. See you next week in Tatton.